This week on Lemon's Car Spotting.
Hey everybody, it is Nick and Eric. This is Lemon's Car Spotting. You tag your photos on Instagram. We find them. Let's go.
Boom. Oh, what a start. If I hadn't looked at the hashtags, I would have absolutely no idea what the hell this thing is.
Oh, yeah.
It is apparently a Kia Spectra. I would have guessed Corolla, which is exactly how Kia gets you.
That is one weird trick.
Yeah. My head cannot handle the American flag on this thing. At what point, while driving a Korean-made appliance, do you assign patriotism as the primary theme? Don't know. Anyway, slap some numbers on it. Bring it racing, obviously, is the answer to that.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, this is one of those things where, what constitutes an American car anymore? Like, is this more or less American than a Camaro? You don't know. All of these things are sort of globalized these days. And if you are a patriotic person and you want to dress up your car, even if it's a Kia Spectra, then I would say go for it.
My favorite Kia Spectra, by the way, in Lemons was one bought from Third Chance Auto Sales, a buy here, pay here lot for $250 bucks out the door.
I was riding my Vespa and I was behind a minivan that had a license plate frame that said, "It is what it is, auto sales." And I couldn't, I was on the bike and I couldn't get my camera out. And I thought I'll look it up online later. Could not find it. And so, man, if you know about It Is What It Is auto sales, and if you can get us some swag, we would really appreciate it.
We need some sponsorship. Anyway.
Yeah. Anywho, moving on. Oh, baby. This is one of those airport shuttles. Am I right?
Yep. Yeah. The Aerobus. Yeah.
Checker, of course, made cabs. It was sort of a weird generalized design. It's kind of the most Soviet of American cars in terms of how it was conceived and screwed together. Some of them had Chevy V8. Some of them had something else like an AMC straight six, something like that. And then, this is the days before the Ford E-Series van based airport shuttle. And absent that, well, how are you going to get people out on the tarmac to their plane? Well, clearly the answer is an 8-door checker wagon. So we don't technically have a length limit in Lemons. We've talked about this before. Check with us to make sure your car can make it through the tightest turn on the track that you are shooting for. Could be a weight issue. But it's so awesome. I would say just bring it and, we'll figure out the details later.
Yeah, boy, I've posted this on the Lemons Rally social media before, but this is an ideal Lemons Rally machine because your entry fee in the rally is $425 no matter how many people are in your vehicle. You could split that like 15 ways legally based on the number of seats in this. And, you'd be, I don't know, what's the math on that? Like $40 a person, something like that. Domination.
We're just full of so many ways to beat the system here.
That's right.
We're just, man. All righty, moving on. Oh man, it's a Granada coupe. Did I know that existed?
Well, no, you do now.
I do now. The Granada is a weird car. We've talked about this before. You'd think it would be a Fox body, but it isn't. It's some kind of weird predecessor that was its own deal. It didn't last for very long. Like it was a carryover from whatever came before it. And then the Fox body then existed for 40 years after that. So it's sort of this weird in-betweener. It had normal Ford stuff. I mean, small block V8s, straight sixes, I believe. And it's just kind of an odd duck, and making it even odder is the sports coupification of this one. I gotta say, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good look. Reminds me a lot of the Fairmont Futura with the little quarter window.
Yep.
And, I couldn't tell you, unless they were sitting side by side, which one is bigger.
Yeah.
I think the Granada is supposed to be bigger, but I don't actually know. The big deal with the Granada, if you remember your classic advertising, is that Ford pitched it as an alternative to a Mercedes C-Class, I think, or E-Class, and basically said, boy, they sure look similar, don't they?
How can you argue with that?
I mean, it's not like there was a lot of drugs floating around in the late 70s or anything like that.
Man. All right. Next up.
Oh, yeah. Now we're talking.
Whoa.
That is a Mazda 6 that's had an awfully hard life. Obviously, T-Bone, that's the classic insurance buyback well, I'm not going to cast aspersions, but they made it home that night, I guess, is the way to say that. It is held together entirely by duct tape. I don't know how you theoretically would get in and out of it, but you cross that bridge when you get to it. Boy, I don't know what else you can say about it. We haven't had a Mazda 6 in Lemons to my knowledge, so looks like a good starting point here.
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying to figure, I don't think it is, but there was the sedan Mazda 6 of this generation. There was a wagon. Then there was a weird lift back that looks sort of like the sedan, but the whole back lifts up. This could be that, in which case it's a rare classic. Yeah, no, that'd be a really good Lemons car. Mazda / Ford, either 4-cylinder or V6. Sure. Go for it. Next up. Now, I always screw this up, and you guys always correct me, but I don't know the difference between a Willys wagon and a Jeepster and so on and so forth. It's a Jeep / Willys / Kaiser, whatever, truck-like thing that they sold in the 60s, I guess, sort of as a family wagon. It looks super cool and like it's from the 1940s, even though it was probably 20 years after that. Pretty neat. We have definitely not seen one of these in Lemons. Not sure I would necessarily recommend it as a road racing machine. But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, pretty cool.
Yeah, we've had a couple of these on Lemons rallies. One of them had a Volvo red block swap, which I thought was pretty sweet, actually. I don't know what was in the other one. I think it might have been like a GM V6. Either way, I'm guessing most of the old flathead stuff is gone from these, which is probably what was in it. They're cool looking. You could store a whole bunch of crap in them. One of the engines we'd really like to see from Kaiser is the Tornado 6-cylinder, which was an overhead cam engine in the early 60s. Might have been the first OHC engine. But they put it in Jeeps and Kaisers and whatever else they had. Be cool to put one in one of these. Shoe in for IOE.
Totally. Oh, dude.
Yeah. Sorry, this is me, isn't it? Yeah. If I wasn't reading the comments, would have no idea. But 714 Car Spotting, right on top of it is a Mitsuoka Galue.
Yeah.
Well, there it is. Mitsuoka, boy, they're like the Zimmer of Japan. They take normal cars and then dress them up to make them look like pseudo Rolls-Roycean whatevers. I have heard tell stories of a Mitsuoka that may show up in Lemons. I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's next year in 2023 that we'll see that. This one's based on the Nissan Crew, according to 714 Car Spotting, which you can read as well as I can, obviously. I have no idea what a Nissan Crew is. I'm sure it's VG, V6 powered. And just, would you look at that?
Yeah.
Just look at it.
Yeah. Would you look at that? Mitsuoka, yeah, like Eric said, they sort of make weird neoclassics. I think it's them that currently is making a Chevy K5 Blazer, like 70s, 80s K5 Blazer on a Toyota RAV4, and that thing is amazing. Like, if they sold that here, I would tell my mom to go out and buy one tomorrow because it's the most incredible thing. The other Mitsuoka that stands out in my mind, and I think this was the one that was supposed to look like a Jag, like a 50s Jag, but it was called the Vute, like view, like room with a view with a T on the end. Vute. What kind of car? Oh, my car's it's the Vute over there.
Yep, she turned it into a Vute.
Vute.
Yep. Oh, man. Well, I think I ended up with the hooptiest for this one. That Mazda 6, hella toe up.
That thing is toe up from the flow up.
But I think I'm going to go with the car with the strange reason to exist, built by the sketchy manufacturer from Kalamazoo, the Checker Aero Bus. Good Lord. I mean, this thing's obviously sat in somebody's yard and they were convinced it would be worth tens of thousands of dollars and they let it rust into godforsaken oblivion. Just look at it. It doesn't look right. Something looks very wrong about it from every angle.
Yeah. Don't disagree. Well, for the Lemons build, I've got to go. God, the Granada Coupe is certainly a possibility. But when you have a chance to bring a Mitsuoka, that's what you should do. And, to be fair, I mean, we're not looking for numbers matching Mitsuokas. You could very easily construct this out of a Camry or whatever, a Nissan Altima, using just stuff that you can find at Home Depot. So, this is a very attainable thing. It looks incredible. It would look even better on a Lemons racetrack. So that's my Lemons build of the week.
Yep. Solid choice. Go to the British car swap meet, buy the weird MG, radiator for the front. It's a great start. It's going to do it for Lemons Car Spotting this week. Hopefully we have more Mitsuokas next week. We'll see you guys.
Here I was talking about like the perfect 2-car solution. Like, what if your 2-car solution was a Galoo and a Vute?
Yeah. Man, you think it smells bad at the Galoo factory?